Okay. Okay, good morning, everyone. We are about to start. For those of you who are online, our apologies. We are 6 minutes late. We were meant to start at 9 o'clock, so we're 6 minutes late. So our apologies. We would be starting in the next 45 seconds. We would start with a video to welcome you and give you some prelude as to why we're running this open day, what you hope to achieve today. And I just need to indicate that we are running a dual open day. We're doing it face to face. There are some people, some of your counterparts in here with us, and we are also broadcasting this online for those of you who, because of COVID, because of the rain, and you couldn't make it here. So welcome to those of you who are here face to face. You defied all the odds and you said COVID, no COVID, and need to go face to face and get it. So you're welcome. We will be starting in the next few seconds. Are we ready with the video? Okay, so here comes the video to just introduce the session, and then I will take it from there. I would introduce myself after the video, and you will see also the video, and then we'll take it from there. Only place to go on now. Okay. Okay, let's just play it for people on now. I'm going to address 5 key issues. First, the CIMA Qualification and why employers are. Second, why many pass first time and why some fail multiple times. Then, how to choose your CIMA college wisely. Fourth, our first master of the support system in post-COVID South Africa. And fifth, your unique questions and answers. Stand up now and get ready for CIMA. Now, what begin and try once again. What's more, you can take the discount and register today. Please come. So I need to come. This is my versus. Is it fine? Testy, good morning, everyone, once again. Can everyone privilege? Can you see my screen? Can everyone see my screen, my slides? For those of you who are online, can you see my slides?
Yes, I can see your slides.
Okay, so yes. It means that the others can see my slides. Okay, good morning once again. On the slides, it's what we're going to be covering today, as you've heard from the video, for those of you who are actually here face to face. First things first, my name is, think about it, Valentine is my name, okay? Just imagine, Valentine, in 14 days time, it will be Valentine's Day. So Valentine is my name. You may wonder, why am I called Valentine? I was not born on 14th February. I was born somewhere between November and December. And if you count from 14th February to then, it's 9 months. So I'm sure you get why I'm called Valentine. Okay, I am a chartered global management accountant. I'm an associate chartered management accountant. I'm also a professional project manager. I also hold an MBA in business administration. I'm the founding CEO of CharterQuest. Very passionate about teaching. I teach CIMA, teach ACCA, teach CFA, teach a whole range of chartered accounting qualifications. So I speak with some almost 15 years knowledge and experience, understanding these various chartered accounting qualifications. And with specific reference to CIMA, which is why you are attending online today or face-to-face with us. I specifically have almost like 12 to 13 years experience. So on the slides is what I'm going to cover today. Why this particular agenda? Agenda 1 is simply seeking to get to the end goal. You're doing CIMA. and then what? You want to be employed, you want to get promoted, you want to change careers. Agenda 1 simply delves into why CIMA is the right qualification to achieve any of these objectives. Agenda 2 basically speaks to, for those of you who are considering CIMA for the first time, I'm sure you've heard, any chartered accounting qualifications, once you hear chartered, it would be very tough. It will be very rigorous. People fail, people pass. A vast majority of people, global pass rates, they are like 30%. South Africa is even a lot lower. These are very, very rigorous exams. So a lot of people fail, a lot of people give up along the way. So agenda 2 is basically to get into very high level. I mean, you wouldn't get the details in an open day. Obviously, every subject has its own technicalities as to why people pass and fail, but very high level, give you a sense how we see it in terms of those who succeed and succeed first time, which is the core purpose of our core mission, to get you to pass first time. Just to get a sense, those who pass first time, what are their secrets and what have we learned as a secret in terms of getting people to pass first time? And those who fail, what are the kinds of mistakes they make, and how we assist you to overcome those mistakes. That's the essence of our second agenda. Obviously, there are a lot of colleges that run CIMA. I'm not going to call their name. I'll refer to them as College 1, College 2, College 3. Obviously, I don't want to advertise our competitors. And as somebody who wants to do CIMA, you'll be wondering, okay, who is the best college to work with? And you will have a whole range of questions. You might want to compare them on price. You might want to compare them on accreditation. You might want to compare them on track record, how old they have been in the business. There are many different things you will be asking. Who are their lecturers, the qualification? There are different ways you might want to compare them. You might want to compare them in terms of their packages. What are their packages like? Do they suit me, especially in an increasingly challenging world of COVID, or especially if I'm working and I need to look after my kids, raise kids, and study? You might want to compare them. So agenda 3 is basically to give you a means to do that comparison and how to decide which one really works for you. That's the end goal of an open day. You come in, you evaluate, you go to another competitor, you evaluate, and ultimately you make a decision. So we assist you with item number 3 to help you make that decision. It is our hope that the decision ultimately lies with you coming back to join us. But if you choose not to join us, we will still wish you well and hope that things go well for you in terms of achieving your CIMA goals. And obviously, agenda 4 is basically the study options, the actual study options, and then we'll deal with questions and answers. I'm sure you have your own unique questions and the rest. Now, on the outset, let me clarify that I'm seeking to present for about 45 minutes. There are 2 open days today. There is this one we are running here. There is another one we are running in our Sandton CBD campus. So I'm seeking to split myself, 45 minutes presenting, take your questions. And obviously, I've got my colleague here, who is the Chief Operating Officer, Patience. So we would split this agenda. I'll deal with 1, 2, 3. When I get to 4, I will invite my colleague, Patience, to come in and deal with the actual details in terms of the study packages and the options. Now, because I'm trying to zoom everything into 45 minutes, I know some of you online would be wanting to pause and ask questions. I hope not to take questions during the first 45 minutes, just so I can present, so you can take a piece of paper. You might be home, but I'm sure whilst your coffee is there, your kids are running around you, or your friends are with you, you have a piece of paper to note down any questions that you have. I would open up shortly before I leave, because I intend to leave after agenda item number 3. I would shift questions and answers to just after number 3, so I can take the high-level questions that arise directly from my presentation. And then I'm going to leave my CEO to take over from number 4. And then questions and answers can still come. So there will be two types of questions. The first sort of questions with which I'll deal with will arise from CIMA employers, why people pass, why people fail, the best college. And the second part would really focus on the study options itself, which obviously my colleague would be here to deal with. Okay, so that's basically what we're trying to achieve. Let's just go straight, zoom straight into the agenda items. We're now starting with the CIMA itself and why employers love it. I've connected the two. Okay, for you to understand why employers love it, you need to understand how CIMA is packaged. There are certain unique things. Other chartered accounting qualifications like ACCA, CIMA, or even academic qualifications like an MBA, which I'm sure some of you are wondering, or a postgraduate diploma in management accounting, or, there are certain things that CIMA does and does so well and uniquely that helps you understand really why it is the buzz, why everybody or why every employer seeks to be running for it. Okay, so let me marry the two. First of all, for those of you who are wondering, CIMA is a professional body, and there are many different professional bodies. Every professional body would they are there to serve the public. They are there to develop a common set of standards and values and competencies that members should display or exhibit in terms of serving the public or their various roles within business. And one of the focal points of what professional bodies do is to develop a competency framework. And what you have here on my slide is basically the CGMA competency framework. I'm sure you know CIMA is the professional body, CGMA is the designation. It is the qualification that you would obtain having studied with CIMA. So this competency framework, which is basically some would call the CIMA competency framework, this is it. Okay, I'm sure on my right, if you are facing me, it will be on my left. For those of you who are in front of me, this is what most of you would be familiar with. Okay, anybody who wants to do CIMA, the first thing they look at is the modules. We get lost in the details. Oh yeah, the modules. There are a number of modules. There are 13 modules. There are 3 case studies. Here's what almost everybody tends to see first. Okay, because we tend to get lost in the details first. But let me clarify. There is a competency framework. There is a qualification framework. Obviously, the qualification framework is developed from the competency framework. Right. So what we have here is the competency framework. Now, if you don't understand the competency framework, you will fail all the case studies, because case studies are designed to assess the competency framework. Now, the qualification framework is the modular breakdown of that competency framework, all the various modules and subjects. And your OT exams, you're going to find out that there are 2 types of exams. There are case study exams, there are OT exams. Case study exams go straight to the competency framework. OT exams, they focus more on the modules, the individual subject, which obviously are derived from the competency framework. What is the basis of that distinction? The competency framework assesses your skills. Can you do it? The qualification framework assesses your knowledge. Do you know? So in other words, you can't do if you don't know. So whereas the qualification framework focuses on building the knowledge and the understanding, the what and the why and the when, the competency framework focuses on the how. How do you actually apply this? How do you make this work? Can you exhibit the skills? And that's why obviously you'll be keep hearing about OT exams, case study exams. You're going to see in my very next slide what are those 2 different exams, why people are failing and passing, and how that connects to these overall qualifications. But now let me get into the unique things that make employers to love it. Starting from here, if you read this, maybe on the onset it looks like, okay, it's just a circle with some arrows, some big circle. Okay, this looks like an arrow is pointing here. It's another arrow pointing here. another arrow pointing, they all fit to each other. So concentric rings, arrows going, like it's like a clock. I mean, clock ticks clockwise from left to right. So the arrows are pointing from left to right. Okay, what are these arrows saying? You may wonder, where do you start reading this? You start reading this competency framework from here, technical skills. Here's what CIMA is saying. A chartered global management accountant is an individual who has 4 sets of competencies. That's why it's called a competency framework. He's got strong technical competencies, and the arrow is saying he can apply those technical competencies in the context of a business. So he's not just some accountant who can add and subtract numbers or balance the books and others. He understands where those numbers meet with business. He can think entrepreneurially. He's got the right business acumen. He can marry the technical understanding of accounting, taxation, auditing, management accounting, all those technical tools and techniques that you learn in accounting with what businessmen, what CEOs, what line managers are looking for in terms of making decisions to optimize value for their organizations. He can marry the two. So which therefore means that because he knows how to marry the two, then he can also be that manager. He can also be that line manager, that HR director, that finance director, that COO, that chief marketing, or because he understands business. So we're going to tie it. And if you look at those arrows, okay, the 3, they have equal proportion. The size of this arrow and the size of this arrow and the size of this arrow and this, they're almost equal. You can almost say 25, 25, 25%. That should be telling you that we may look like an accounting qualification that is focusing on technical skills. We are not. We are an accounting qualification. We're a business qualification. We're a people-centered qualification. And we are also very strong on leadership. So your technical skills should be well grounded in solid business acumen, which we will develop your skills into. But we will help you to recognize that you will ultimately work in organizations, and organizations is a social system made up of people. Your customers are people. Your suppliers are people. Your employees are people. Regulators who regulate you are people. Now, if business is a social system that is made of a collection of people, they need to be managed, quite apart from managing the business, which is to make profits. We get that. Profits is for shareholders. They are also people, by the way. But we need to understand that the best technical understanding of accounting, if it is not geared to understanding the interests and motivations of people, how power and influence affects their behavior, if we do not tie your technical knowledge and your business acumen to understand how to manage this complex array of people, which we will commonly call stakeholders, whose behaviors would detract or optimize the chances of your business succeeding. If you cannot understand all this, it doesn't matter how technically strong you are, how much business acumen you have, you will never succeed. So we need to make sure that we identify all these groups of people that impose optimism and barriers to what businesses are trying to do, and teach you how to, again, tie those technical competencies within your business acumen and how to use that to navigate these conflicting demands that people would impose on you. We give equal representation to that on our competencies, which is this part. And then CIMA says, lastly, gone are the days where we saw accountants as providing information for others to make decisions, providing information for CEOs and the board to make decisions. We want to position you to also be that CEO. to also be that director. Yes, you may start by compiling information to help them make decisions. If you do that well, they will excel. If they excel, they will be promoted. If they are promoted, you should be the next. Not another leader coming in for you to be left with constantly churning out information to guide decision making, planning, and control. Who is making those decisions? Who is doing that planning? Who is doing the controlling? You have to be empowered to also be a leader. So the last part then says leadership skills is going to be crucial for this qualification. So CIMA summarizes a chartered global into these 4 competencies. An individual who is technically very grounded, is business savvy, is emotionally very intelligent, and is a decisive and strong leader. That's what we're trying to build. That is how we characterize you. Obviously, CIMA also says, hang on. The world has become increasingly very digitized. Is artificial intelligence, cloud computing, big data, disruptions of the scale we've never seen. Now, so we need to situate digital skills to be at the heart of these competencies. So in other words, if you are technically grounded and you cannot translate that in the context of increasing digitization of our world, okay, I'm sure you know 30 years ago we talked about bookkeeping. Who does bookkeeping today? Things have been optimized. Maybe it should be called computer keeping. Things have been optimized, Pastel, Turbo Pascal, enterprise planning systems like SAP, Oracle, data is now being stored offsite, offshoring, all sorts of things are creating a digital world. And in fact, a lot of businesses are building their ecosystem strategy entirely on digitization and transformation. So we do not want to build a chartered global management accountant who has all these 4 sets of skills and cannot play in that space. And in fact, cannot anticipate where transformation is heading to in the context of the profession. So digital skills will be at the center of those 4 sets of competencies. And obviously, outside the ring, you will see something called ethics, integrity, and professionalism. Okay? Somebody is saying, ultimately, we are a professional body. You could get a PhD in accounting or whatever. We're a professional body. We're all going to be bound by a common... If you have a master's degree, you can go and steal or defraud. No university will ever withdraw that master's degree from you. It's your thing. If you have CIMA, it doesn't belong to you. If you're it doesn't belong to you. You are just a custodian. It's just saying you have gone through the process, you've passed the exams, you've met the experience requirements. But you have to continue. There's something called CPD. You have to prove every year that you're continuing to upgrade those skills to stay relevant. You have to continue to prove that you have not been found ethically wanting. Your ethical fiber remains solid. You are not into some corruption scandals. So ethically, you have to remain solid. CPD, you have to continue proving that your skills are continuing to grow. If you fail on any of these 2 things, the qualification is not yours. They'll just take it back, unlike a degree which remains yours. So CIMA says what intersects all this is your ethics and your professionalism. We will test that throughout the qualification. We will require you to continue displaying that even after receiving the qualification. Otherwise, we will take back the qualification and dismiss you from the profession because we do not want you to bring the profession into disrepute. So literally, if you're thinking about getting into CIMA, that is the picture of what you're trying to be. That is the picture of what you're trying to become. So this summarizes that. So you must ask yourself, if you're not going to be able to display CPD or strong ethical through your career, don't do it, because you could get it, go through the rigor, and it could be withdrawn from you at some point. Okay, now let's move to this one. I'm going to be a bit brief because a lot of you are already familiar with this. What CIMA is then saying is, but how do we build this guy? How do we build this guy that looks like this circle with all these facets? We will develop a qualification which will break down into a number of levels and a number of modules and a number of pillars. Now, if you look at this diagram, let's count the levels. Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. You might choose to call this level 5 if you want. That's where your practical experience comes in. So some call it 4 levels, some call it 5 levels. Let's study this again. There's a pillar, there are arrows here. There's a pillar, there's a pillar, there's a pillar. All these are facing up. Okay, 3 pillars. Pillar 1, pillar 2, pillar 3. Now, let's inspect those levels. If you see here at the top of this level, there's a qualification called the CIMA Certificate in Business Accounting. In Osensia, you want to study full-time. If you finish, for those of you who are starting straight from metric, I know you say you want to go straight from metric, you probably start from here. Different people start at different levels. You might end up with this qualification. So in other words, there is a CIMA qualification, but it's made up of sub-qualifications, all of which are accredited. They align with the National Qualification Framework. They are part of the South African Qualification Authority system, fully recognized in South Africa and run by a lot of universities in the country. This is the first one. It caps the end of level 1. If you look here, there's another one again. At the top of level 2, there's something called a Diploma in Management Accounting, a separate qualification which you can get within 9 months or 1 year after getting the first one. Here again, you see Advanced Diploma in Management Accounting, which caps this level. It's a much higher qualification. And then ultimately here you see the Chartered Global Manager. These qualifications, they are different levels. Okay, this one is on NQF level 5. This one is NQF level 6. This one is NQF level 7. The ultimate CIMA itself is NQF level 8. Okay, for those of you who don't know what is NQF, it's called National Qualification Framework. It is like metric. Metric is NQF level 4. It just rates different qualifications at different levels. Master's degrees are NQF level 8. So technically speaking, CIMA, the ultimate CIMA is deemed to be a master's degree qualification. I'm just trying to give you a picture because some of you are new, so you are trying to compare it with what you are familiar with, which is the degree system. Okay, so I'm sure you know to build a house, you need foundations. You know, a building like this where we are, for those of you online, we are on a building, we're on the 3rd floor. So a building like this would have got in a strong foundation. It's got pillars that hold the building. It's got a roof. This is our roof. It's got floors. The floors are the levels. Okay. So this is a house of cards that CIMA has put together to build you. So you are the house, we're building you. We're going to give you arms and legs and all the rest, obviously through your brain. Right. So why do employers love it? Okay, I'm sure you've been hearing certain things that would begin to clarify to you. Okay, I now see why employers love it. Okay, but let me zoom again a bit deeper into that, so you understand deeper. Now, these 4 levels, what do they mean? CIMA is saying to succeed in business, businesses are organized, largely speaking, around 4 levels. Yes, some are 30 levels, but research shows that you can descend those 30 levels into 4 main levels, one of which is where you will start your career, is usually the bottom one. There's what is called the transactional level. Okay, the data capturers, the cleaners, the drivers are generally seen. But the bookkeeper, if you want to relate that to finance, the bookkeepers are generally seen to be at the transactional level. Transactional level is where you process transactions, the day-to-day things that go on in a business. Reconciliation, cash up, journals, capture it, sign up, pick this document, drop it there. Those are transactions. So there is a transactional level. CIMA says, now, after the transactional level, there's what is called the operational level. Sometimes the line is not very, very clear. Obviously, transactional level is also part of operation. The line is not very clear. Okay, so you would be wondering, okay, so where does CIMA draw the distinction? Crucially, understanding that distinction will be key to knowing what CIMA is looking for at every level when you write your exams. Because if you're at a certain level, there's certain things they are looking for. I'm going to clarify that. And obviously, after that, there is the management level. And then there is a strategic level. These are the 4 levels in business. Okay. How does CIMA define that within the qualification? CIMA says, ultimately, to run a business, there are 3 things. You need to plan the business. You need to control the business. You need to report on what's happening on the business. Okay. That's where CIMA starts from. You say, okay. So we need a pillar that focuses on planning the business. Just planning. We need another pillar that focuses on how to control the business. We need another pillar that focuses on how to report on what is happening in the business. Make some sense? Okay. So these 3 pillars, pillar 1, pillar 2, pillar 3, they are simply saying, here you are learning how to plan the business. Here you are learning how to control the business. Here you are learning on how to report on what's going on in the business, both internally and externally. That is the first thing of CIMA. Okay. The second thinking of CIMA is to say, okay, if these are the 3 things that, in summary, running a business entails, planning can happen, controlling can happen, and reporting can happen at all levels of a business. You can plan, control, and report at the transactional level. You can plan, control, and report at the operational level, at the management level, and at the strategic level. So, if this is the transactional level, which you end up with a CIMA certificate in business accounting, what are we trying to teach you at this level? We're trying to teach you how to plan, control, and report on a business at the transactional level. Does it make some sense? That is the point. When you go here, we're simply trying to teach you how to plan, control, and report on what's happening in the business at the operational level. And likewise, management level, likewise, strategic level. But then, what is planning at the transactional level? What is planning at the operational level? And likewise, all the way to the strategic level. CIMA goes further to say, when we say transactional level, planning is immediate planning, like you plan for tomorrow, day-to-day planning. What am I going to do today? What am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do 3 days' time? So it is very immediate, it is immediate term in nature. How is that different from planning at the operational level? It's short-term planning. In other words, time dimensions for running a business has been split into the now, as in now, the short term as in the next 3 weeks to 1 month, the medium term as in the next quarter or the next 8 months, and then the long term as in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years from now. Now, if you are at the transactional level, you are asked to capture transactions now. You must close the books at the end of the day. So all your planning is, I'm coming in the morning, what am I going to do by the end of the day? So we're teaching you how to think about that immediate planning. Because if you don't plan immediately, the next level cannot plan. They cannot control, they can't report. Does it make some sense? When you go to the next level, we're teaching you how to plan, control, and report for the next quarter or for the next 3 months, 4 months, which is now short term. When you go to the management level, it shifts. We're teaching you how to plan and control for the next 9 months, for maybe up to 12 months. You can draw budgets and all the rest for the next 1 year and the rest. When we take you to strategic level, we are now teaching you how to plan the business beyond 1 year. Make some sense? How to anticipate the long-term dangers which are coming and control the business beyond 1 year, before even they arise. And similarly, how to report the strategic implications of the reporting that you have been undertaking at the lower level. How does that interface with shareholders and regulators and all the rest, and how to marry that into your business? That's all CIMA is saying. So it becomes clear now. We can get lost into, okay, E1 is doing this, E2 is doing this, F2. I don't want to get lost into every single module. Okay, that is the detail you hear when you see the individual subject by subject, the lecturers are teaching. But I just wanted to give you a sense to say, if you understand these 3 pillars, these 4 levels, the rest is just some things which have been plucked in there as the building blocks. Now, ultimately, let's put here revenue minus cost is equal to profit. Ultimately, CIMA is saying, but hang on. Running a business is about making profit, right? To make profits, we need to grow revenue, we need to control our costs, we need to get the profit. So profit is the outcome of your revenue and your cost, right? So here, planning a business really is about, we don't want accountants who start by waiting for operations to design the product, for engineers to design the product, for marketers to develop a product vision or a concept for marketing that product, for sales to secure the orders, and then we just come to generate invoice. We generate and follow up payments. That's what a lot of accountants do, and CIMA is saying, no, we don't want accountants who just come in when it's time to generate invoice and follow up payment. There's a whole lot involved in creating that revenue. You need to be a strong business partner. You should be prepared to be that marketing manager, that operation. Makes some sense. So everything here, this pillar, is about how to go and collect the revenue, how to generate the revenue. Makes some sense. So that you don't just compile financial statements, income statement and balance sheet and those type of things. You know you can connect that revenue back to all the value process that did not happen or that should happen to make sure that revenue happens on your balance sheet or your income statement. That's why I'm saying this pillar is about planning. You now see why it's called E. E1, E2, E3. E means enterprise. We're teaching you to be entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurship 1, entrepreneurship 2, entrepreneurship 3. All designed to learn not only how to control risks. Accountants are trained to control risks, but you need to take risks to succeed. So here we teach you how to take risks. 2 types of risks: opportunities, threats. On this pillar, our focus will be on how to go after opportunities, because it's through those opportunities that revenues will come. Everything from E1, where we teach you the different facets of an organization, finance, HR, operation, all the rest, to E2, where we teach you how to manage relationships with stakeholders, and to do project management. Projects will come from the top. You need to translate those projects into your tactics. to E3, where we teach you how to identify opportunities long before others see it. Now you may wonder, how does economics fit in here? If you see here, at the bottom is called business economics. Why is economics sitting at the bottom of that first pillar? In economics, you learn demand and supply, interest rates, exchange rates, unemployment, GDP, blah, 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 blah. It is through the understanding of those variables that you're able to see opportunities and threats. If you know interest rates go up, this is what happens. If interest rates comes down, this is what happens. And then opportunities are identified. So as a foundation to teach you how to understand entrepreneurship, we'll start with economics. Make some sense? And then we build it all the way through. Now, cost. Let's come back down. If you don't control the business, if your revenue grows by 80%, brilliant. But if your cost grows by 120%, not so good, right? Okay. So here we teach you how to get the revenue to 80%. Here we teach you how to keep the costs where they are. Are you with me? Or to bring them down, even while still getting the revenue up. Are you with me? That's why CIMA says the first thing to learn how to carry out that tactics is what is called fundamentals of management accounting. You see it here. Fundamentals of management accounting. What is fixed cost? What is variable cost? What is process cost? What is job costing? It starts from there. Then we will build that to P1, which is costing systems. So the first one is the principles of costing. The second one is the systems that companies deploy to manage their costs, which embeds those principles. When we go to P2, we will elevate that to say, hey, you're not just going to manage costs and think that it's enough. You're not just going to control costs. You need to control employee satisfaction. You need to control productivity. You need to control safety. You need to also control the non-financial part of your business. Cost is the financial part. So when you move to P2, it starts shifting from costing to managing and controlling other non-financial elements of the business. Quality management, Six Sigma, all those systems which are deployed to manage the non-financial side, it shifts there. When you get here, it then picks up, okay, you can do all that right, but there's danger coming. Remember, here you learn how to see opportunities, isn't it? When you go after those opportunities, it opens you to danger. Right? I'm sure you know that. You cannot pursue a strategic opportunity without opening your business to a strategic risk. You can move forward and I can take you from behind. Competitors are always looking for, once you concentrate on, you want to acquire this big business, you spend all your time with that acquisition. You forget your customers, the current customers, who made that acquisition possible. And now competitor enters the industry and captures those customers. That acquisition fails, you cannot keep back the customers. You fail. So when you go after opportunities, risks would open. As we teach you how to control the costs and control the business from inside. Are we there? We also teach you how to anticipate those dangers that you saw when you chose to go for it, right? How to control them so that as you go for it, you can control against those dangers and still achieve what you're trying to achieve. Okay, then ultimately, this last module then says, okay, we'll start with, because this is profit, you need to be profitable. Shareholders want to see your profit. If you're not profitable, you can't keep your employees. If you're not profitable, suppliers will not even supply because you might not be able to pay them. So profit, obviously not only profit, cash flows, your assets and all those things, everybody is interested in that. So to help you report on that, we'll teach you fundamentals of financial accounting. Debiting, crediting, what's a balance sheet? Let's start it from the beginning. And then we'll come here, we develop that from debiting and crediting to compiling basic financial statements. And then when we move here, that's called advanced financial accounting. We're moving from basic to group accounts. If your company is a group, you got subsidiaries and divisions and all the rest. There are some very complex international reporting standards that affect those type of entities. We'll develop it to that level when we get here. All is still reporting. Then when you move here at the strategy, financial strategy then says, okay, you can compile and read the most complex financial statements. How do you use that to go raise money? Your balance sheet, assets is equal to debt plus equity, right? You can't get an asset without having either debt or equity. Who gives you debt? Banks and investors. Who gives you equity? Investors or shareholders, right? Would they give it to you for you to buy the assets without proving that you can add value? No. So you need to compile these financials you compiled, you present it to them, and then it is on the basis of that reporting that you can decide how to raise money. Financial strategy is basically, how do I raise money to finance the assets? Now, if you don't have assets, can you generate revenue? No. So financial strategy then picks it up to say, okay, we now know our balance sheet. We have the most complex balance sheet, which we've learned how to compile. What are the implications of this balance sheet? There are some investors who would give you money if they see certain types of balance sheet. Other investors who will not give you money for that balance sheet, others will give. Are you with me? So some prefer a highly leveraged business. Some prefer a lowly leveraged business because investors have different goals. So your financial strategy ultimately teaches you how to raise the fund, the optimal balance between debt and equity, and the implications for the other two pillars. The way you choose to raise money can determine whether you achieve those opportunities. And it can also add to the risks that your business faces. Okay, so there is no accounting qualification that finds this type of balance. Some are heavily biased towards auditing. Some are very biased towards financial reporting. But in terms of the right balance between accounting and business and organization and planning and control and you serving at a different level. If you are if you don't know what your boss wants, you might be at the transactional level, your boss is at the operational level. If you don't know what people worry about at the operational level, you'll be fired. Because you are there to help him achieve his goals. If you're at the operational level, you don't know what people at the management level are looking for, they will fire you. Because your job is to help them serve their level. Similarly, if you're on the management level, you don't know what the CEO is looking for, he will fire you. So there's no qualification that sets you to serve your employer at any level. Understand your level, understand how it interfaces with the next level. Understand that to run a business requires you to balance a number of things. So you can sit inside finance and hear the pain of marketing department before even they tell you they have a pain. I don't know if you get it. You can hear the pain of HR before even they tell you. That will help you when you compile your management accounts and your reports. When you do variance analysis or you give them recommendations, business advice, business partnering on how to optimize their various sections. You know what they are thinking, you know their pain. There is no qualification that positions you to achieve that. And in summary, that is why employers, they're running after this. So they don't need to be explaining things to you. You get it. You can come in with 2-3 months experience, you can hit the ground, you can add that value they are looking for. Okay, so in summary, that is what that is what the qualification is all about, and in summary, that's what employers are looking for. I'm not going to be pretty quick. Okay. Now, for those of you who are new, who have been here, why do people fail? We've summarized it here. Obviously, we'll load these slides. You can look at it. I'm not going to go through every single one, but let me just focus on more why people fail than why people pass. Okay. Here I've put why people pass. It's the flip side of why people fail. More people fail than they pass. Obviously, on our program, we are seeing almost like 75–80% pass rate. If you're studying with CharterQuest, there's a 75% chance you pass. I mean, the global pass rate is actually at 35%, so there's a 2 times better chance. But a lot of people out there fail. So let me focus on why people fail. Okay, 3 things on OT versus case studies. First thing, people are always asking, must I use BPP or Kaplan? Both of them, what is common in both OT and case study is that you need to practice and practice and practice. That's what I've put here. And practice under exam conditions. If your exam you're preparing for is a 3-hour exam, you must practice about 15 3-hour exams before you go face that exam. Some are mocks given by your school. Some are things you must do by yourself. Don't take a mock that should be done under time conditions for 3 hours and do it for 6 hours and think you are learning. You're not learning. You may be learning, but in terms of passing the exam, fine, you have to do the first 3 mocks, which will take 6 hours, that's fine. The cumulative knowledge should prepare you to do another mock for 3 hours. Because ultimately, all that knowledge, if you cannot summarize it and present it in 3 hours, you will not pass the exam. So, on the OT, why do people fail? A school gives you BPP, practice kit. BPP will have 300 questions. You go through those 300 questions, you say, I'm ready for the exam. No, 300 questions is not enough. You need to go through like 1,000 questions. Every question comes from a different perspective. You can think you know activity-based costing because you study at school, you got a degree, you answer the first question, you pass. You'll be surprised. You can take 3 questions in Kaplan. Activity, it goes well. Open BPP, first 3 questions, you fail all. So you need multiple perspectives to those questions. So one reason why people fail, they take questions from a particular angle. They go through. These questions are written by examiners. Examiners have a perspective. If I've worked in banking, in insurance, and in mining, you ask me to write questions on activity-based costing. It will be influenced by areas from which I've worked, because these same concepts, they are applied in different industries differently. So the guy who wrote the Kaplan book might have worked in particular industries. Sometimes also maybe the industries you work in, and the questions make sense. It looks like it's easy. You go to the exam. The guy who said the question may have worked in a different set of industries. So you have not learned how to think about that issue in a very dynamic manner from multiple angles. So the first mistake people make, in fact, on both case study and OT, is that they try Kaplan or they try. You need to do both, and even more. So that's why I say, in fact, we are the only school that provides both sets of material, Kaplan and BPP, because we understand that dynamism in terms of getting you to pass. Okay, there are other things that go in there. That's for OT. Let me just stress on case study. There's this thing called knowledge dumping, okay? If you remember when I started, there are 2 things, there are 2 types of exams. There's knowledge, there's skills. The competency framework is about skills. The OT is about knowledge. Why do people fail case studies? They can apply the knowledge. You can ask me when I was young. If I ask you when you were young, what's your name? Everybody, when you are just growing up, my name is Valentine. If they ask me, why are you called Valentine? Can you see? It can get messy. I need to grow up a bit more to understand why I'm called Valentine. Isn't it? And even when I grow up to understand why I'm called Valentine, I might find out because I was born 9 months after 14 February. Only to find there are other Valentines who've got nothing to do with 9 months after 14 February. The world starts becoming more complicated, isn't it? Maybe another person was called because he was born in a city called Valentino. So life starts getting more and more complicated. The point I'm trying to raise is, OTs, they're more about knowledge. What's your name? Which one is the right answer? Everybody can answer, my name is Innocent, my name is Valentine. If they start asking you, why are you called Valentine? It starts getting messy. If you are called Valentine in this context, will you also be called Valentine in this context? It starts getting messy because you've seen other Valentines who were not born on 14 February, isn't it? It's the same way. If it works like this in the mining industry, will it also work like this in the banking industry? No, it may not. It may not. So the knowledge starts getting very complicated. That's why case studies get messy. So case studies about, can you do it? Can you apply this? You have all this knowledge, but if we give you this type of business, can you adapt and customize that knowledge, which is generic at the time I gave to you in the OT? Are you with me? Can you break that down to show that you can make it work for this business? People fail because they just take the same knowledge. They say, they're saying, okay, advise the board how to deal with these stakeholders. And then everything you've learned about stakeholders, you start right. There are 3 types of stakeholders. Stakeholder number 1 is called this. Stakeholder number 2 is called this. You are just dumping everything you know about stakeholders from the textbook. You won't pass the case study. The board is looking for advice. I'm sure if you come to me and say, how do I deal with these stakeholders? You start listing me the stakeholders and their names and where they come from and all the rest. I tell you to leave my office. I need you to take that understanding of those stakeholders, group them. Are you with me? Some are from outside, some are from inside. The outside ones behave like this, the inside ones behave like this. Some are interested in the law, some are not interested in the law. Analyze those stakeholders. Are you with me? Summarize them in some fashion and say, you know what? We may have 30 stakeholders, but there are just 3. Are you with me? They fall in these 3 blocks. Block 1 are people who want to do this. Here is evidence that this is what they are doing to our business. And here's what I think we must do. Block 2, can you see how it works? So that's why people don't do well in case studies, because it gets very messy. So that's just high level. There's a lot going on in terms of the intricacies. So now I can see my CEO is probably telling me I have overrun on my time. The next thing is, there's a lot of detailed information. We will leave you with this. If you want to choose a school, I've put here the top 3 colleges. Anybody who is evaluating the market knows that there are 3 colleges that account for 80% of the market. There are all these other colleges that account for 20% or maybe 2%. I'm not going to call their name. There's college 1, college 2, college 3. We are one of the 3 colleges, okay? So there's college 1, college 2, college 3. I won't tell you who is college 1, I won't tell you who is college 3. But I'll just give you some ratings to help you understand. You can go back after this, check their websites and all this. You will know who is college 1, who is college 2, who is college 3. But here's what the point I'm making. Check them, are they CIMA registered? Okay? College 1 says is yes. These are factual information. College 2 is yes, college 3 is yes. I've scored them 1, 1, 1. So you can't distinguish where to study on the basis that who is CIMA registered, because they all are. Okay? Pass rates. If a college tells you, here's my pass rate, they're lying. Let me share with you why. CIMA does not publish pass rates per college. They will tell you your range is here. Are you with me? Your pass rate ranges at this level, but they won't tell you your pass rate is this. And with exams being written, remember OT, they're written every day. People are writing OTs every day in different computers at different venues. Quarterly, every case study happen. So when you say pass rate, are you talking about pass rate for last week or for 2 days ago or for last quarter exam? You get what I'm saying? At what point, this pass rate, I can just choose the last week. Maybe that last week I got 90%. Are you with me? And I say my pass rate is 90%. It looks like it's been 90% for the whole year or for the last 2 years. So one reason CIMA does not really publish that is because there are too many exams happening. Are you with me? So, but CIMA, for you to be a CIMA accredited school, you need to prove a certain minimum pass rate and you must maintain it. If you drop below that in 2 quarters, they take out your accreditation. So college 1, CIMA assured, CIMA assured, CIMA assured. So score 111. You can't separate them. Quality of lecturers. All CIMA assured. You cannot be CIMA accredited unless CIMA has verified all your lecturers. So you can't distinguish them. Now you start getting here. You see, you try to score it. Okay. There are some colleges who are winning CIMA awards. You start knowing when CIMA announce awards for best students in the country. You start wondering, the best students seem to be coming from this school, but not from this school. What's going on? Are you with me? Okay. Now, for instance, for 2020, CIMA just did the awards for the top students in the country. In fact, at a global level, but representing the country. There were 2 from Africa. One from this school, one from another school. Okay, so check that. But among the top 3, one of them don't have a top student. Okay, that is an indication, but that's not enough. Check the materials. Okay, what materials are you giving? I'm sure you all know that the official material is Kaplan, right? CIMA endorses Kaplan. There are some schools that only do Kaplan, some schools only do PPP, some schools do both. Okay, so I probably have given away who we are in the process. Okay, we'll leave you with this. It's a lot of detail. Check study packages. Take study option. I'll leave my CEO to take you through the study package section. So, but these are criteria. If you really want to ultimately make that decision, some have full-time, some you are interested in full-time, some have full-time, some don't have full-time. So, right, I'll leave you with this so we don't go into so much. Okay, yes, I think at this point I should be ready to call my CEO, but I did indicate that I will pause and take questions to deal with the first part of my presentation, and then I can run to my next session. So I'm going to pause here. How am I doing with time? I'm behind time. Okay, you're monitoring the people who are online. So just check if there are any questions. For those of you who are here face to face, any questions that arises from, if it has to do with the study courses, the packages, my colleague will take over that when she presents our timetable. Any questions that arises from the first part, the qualification, why employers love it, why people pass and fail from the first part I've just presented. Any questions that arises from there? It looks like there are no questions. Okay, I don't know what that means. Maybe you don't understand, but you overstand. That's why there are no questions. But in any event, thanks. Are there people online with questions?
If you hold a postgraduate degree in management accounting and passed CIMA management case study, can one go straight to strategic case study if I hold an 8-year senior management work experience?
If I hold, repeat again, if I hold
a postgraduate.
Okay.
And I passed.
Yeah.
One goes. I have 8 years senior management work experience.
I see where that question from. If I've got a postgraduate diploma in management accounting, which is probably the UNISA one, and I have passed CIMA management case study, can I bypass the 3 OTs, this E3, P3, and F3, and go straight to case study if I have got 8 years working experience? This honest is probably wanting to know about the CFO route. Honest, there's a route that you will not be able to. That route requires 10 years experience. There's a route who do you have my thing is about to die. Do you have a charger? Okay, honest, the simple answer is no. Okay, here's why I'm saying so. CIMA has a route which is called the CFO program. The CFO program is for executives You don't even have to be finance executive, but you have to have served at the executive level in business. Obviously, if it's been finance, then that's good. You got 10 years experience at senior level. That route allows you to go straight to strategic case study. Okay, that is even if you don't have a postgraduate diploma. So let's say you have just a degree and you got 10 years experience at senior executive level. You can go straight to the strategic level. You write that one exam, you pass. So that is the only route that allows you to go straight to strategic level. There's another route that you don't qualify for, but I will just mention it. There is what is called the CA, the Global CA program. It is for all chartered accountants, whether you are ACCA or you're whatever, all chartered accountants can write that direct case study also, and then you can go there. Now, in your case, you have past management case study, you do have a postgraduate diploma in management accounting, but you only have 8 years experience. Here will my advice to you. Although that route says you need 10 years, I suspect, now I cannot, please don't quote me on this. I suspect if the 8 years you have, they are A, at executive level. B, if they are principally in finance, please send me your CV and that. I want to take you to CIMA and say, I know that you need 10 years experience, but you need 10 years experience at any senior level. Here is a person, here is honest, who's got only 8, but it is in finance. If you can take 10 years experience at any senior executive level, surely you can take 8 years that is principally in finance. So I cannot guarantee they're going to say yes. Exemptions are a dicey area. I can make that case and see whether they can say, okay, 2 years, 8 years, not much difference, and permit you. Other than that, strictly from the information as it is now, the answer is no, you don't qualify. You can't go straight to strategic level. You will have to do the OTs. If you want to take that up, fine, you can get my email is at the end of this slide. You can send it to me. I'll work that out and see you. No promises on that. That's my answer to you, honest. All right, any other question?
I was just asking if it is online or face-to-face that we can on.
You can do. Okay, the last semester everything. It's only now we're trying to get back to face-to-face. On average, we would get like 16 to 17 students per campus. At the obviously the biggest would be at Rivonia. In Pretoria, it would be maybe like 8 or 9. In this campus, it would be like 8 or 9. But in Rivonia, it will be almost 16 to whatever. That is on average. For the last semester, we obviously did not run face-to-face. I'm talking about face-to-face. We obviously did not run face-to-face because of COVID and the rest. We want to get back to it now. But we've split it. We've split it such that some people, those who believe in face-to-face can come in. Those who want to still log in can log in. The classes will be live streamed. So we're still expecting about 16 or 20 at the strategic level. But we will not allow more than 6 physically face-to-face. So the first 6 who want face-to-face, the rest will ask them to online because of the COVID consent. So that is my answer about how many people did strategic level and the rest. Please, if you have a follow-up question to my answer, you can always type it again and then I can pick it up. There's somebody monitoring the screen for me. Yes, what's the next question? Rianda, yes.
I only have a comment. I love the illustration that employees are looking for. Employers are looking for revenue minus cost is equal to profit. It has illustrated to me how revenue and opportunities are identified and how costs are reduced to maximize stakeholder wealth. Thank you for that.
Okay, thanks. That's a very good comment. What's the name again? Luyanda, thank you so much for that. I hope that it sets the beginning of a new journey in terms of your quest to get that more. Obviously, it's very, very high level. The idea was to make it as simple for you to quickly grasp what is going on. There's a lot of details packaged into that schematic that I've pointed, but I'm glad that it helps you get the picture. Should you want to do CIMA, that is the vision that we are putting through, and that's what at the end you would fully grasp as you go through each of the various modules. So thank you so much for your comment. Is there any other question? Okay, you will take it. Okay, for those of you online, thank you so much. This is just the first part of the presentation, which is now coming to an end because I have to run to another presentation. Like I said, I'm just repeating myself because some of you might have logged in whilst this process was unfolding. My COO patients will now come in. They might need to be paused because I'm going to go with my laptop, so you have to set up. So I hope you're planning to manage the transition. My apologies. There is a CEO. She will take over the presentation from here. Deal with. I'm sure you still have more questions that would come from her presentation. So there's going to be a transition right now, so I can pull out. Yeah, you can. So thank you so much for spending your time and day with us. I'm sure there are many places you could have been, but you chose to participate in our open day. We appreciate that so much. Goodbye from my side for now. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning once again. My name is Patience. I'm going to be taking you through the study options that we have for you here at campus. Welcome. And for those who are online, please also feel free to ask any questions in the chat box. So I'm going to start off with our face-to-face study options. We do have eCampus online options, and I'll just take you through all the other various study options that we have as we go through. So what I will actually do is I will be using more of our...
We can't see your screen.
Okay. I'll share again. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, now I can
Yes.
see it.
Perfect. Thank you. So my presentation, I'm going to do it mainly from the website where we have our study options. It would be much easier for you to maybe come back at a later stage to try and see which options you would want, but I'll obviously take you through in detail for the sake of everybody online and also the students who are here. So the first option, we do have our face-to-face study options. So we are hoping that we will be going back to teach face-to-face, as Mr. T explained, that we will not be taking probably more than 6 students, but those who would like to join online, even our TAP option, you can also live stream on the day that you can't make it to class. So that's why you would see it will obviously say here, it says in person or live streams. So on the day that you can't make it to campus, you can then just get a meeting link where you can live stream. So our live stream option is actually interactive. It's not what we are using currently where a student cannot ask. The live stream, you actually have an interaction with the lecturer. So this is what we call the TAP package, which has the first time pass guarantee. Currently, we have a promotion for 4,375. So the normal fee is normally 6,250. But we are saying if you pay your fees in full by end of January, you will then get that fee so you will get a 30% off, even if you register for one module. We normally have our combo discounts, which our combo discounts you would get probably up to 30% if you're registering for 4 modules. But currently, if you just register for 1 module, even 2, you can get discount as long as you pay the fees in full by 31st January. So this TAP package, what does it come with? So you do get 7 tuition classes and 2 exam preparation classes. These classes are also recorded, so you will be able to get a recording of that class. I will just show you the class structure, how this will look like. Okay. Okay. There we go. Can you see this better? Okay, so this is our class structure on a TEP package. When I said we offer 7 tuition classes, so you then get 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there is a test 1, which is what you see here. And then you then get class 5. Then we go for Easter holidays. There is class 6 and class 7. Then there is a test. And then these are the 2 exam preparation classes. So what do we do during these 4 classes? So we go through, if E1 has, let's say, 12 chapters, we'll then go through the first 6 chapters during the first 4 classes, which will then split to say day 1, we'll probably do the first chapter or first 2. So we'll split it. There will be a scheme of work, which you will know exactly what to cover on each day. Then there's this test 1, the red danger is coming. After the test, we want to know, are you getting it? So we want to test this knowledge. So we'll give you a test 1. It will be a 45 minutes test. So we'll test what you would have done from day 1 to day 4. And then we then come back after the test, class 5. Thank God there's a holiday there. Normally you don't get those. Then you do the next class, which is your class 6 and your class 7. Then you write test 2. So test 2 will then cover the remainder of those 6 chapters or 50% of the syllabus. And then by then you kind of know, are you getting it? What support do you need? The lecturer also see from your results, how can we support you further? Then we come back again. There will be the first revision class. We now go back to revise this test. We do more exam techniques. Here now we're done with tuition. It's now preparing you for the exam. So that's why we call it exam preparation phase. Then we do a final mock. So your final mock will be 90 minutes. The real, it's almost like you're then checking, am I ready for the exam? Full syllabus. All our tests are online, computer-based. So you can write from home as well. If you are also a face-to-face student, you still have the opportunity to do everything from home. So we have made it possible that all the tests you write from home, you just need to allocate the 45 minutes when you're free. Then you say, I want to do my test, because you can't stop in the middle. So you need to just take it through. We take the first attempt. We don't like to take the second, the third, because probably you've already, you know all the answers by then. So we take the first attempt. Then the last class, we revise that final mock. We then assess, is everybody ready for the exam? Is there any intervention we need? You yourself, you also know, am I ready? Remember, you will also get, which I'll also take you through now, you've got the Kaplan study text. So when we look at our timetable, we use the Kaplan study text mainly with the tuition classes. So we follow the Kaplan structure in terms of their study text, the tuition. So all those chapters which will take you through, we have just standardized that we use Kaplan. However, if you look at our benefits, you then get the Kaplan practice kit and the BPP one as well. They both have questions. It's just that in class, we follow the Kaplan study text. But when it comes to question, it doesn't matter where they come from. So you then, after the class, go to your Kaplan study text, do those tests so that you just see, do you understand what you did and all of that. So during classes or even preparing for your test or for your mocks, for the final exam, you then use these 2 study materials. Further to that, which is not on the class structure though, you've got 6 online timed mocks. So you take these online. At any time, they'll be open during the course. Those 2 online tests, that is test 1 and test 2 that I've shown you here. And then you then have the final mock exam, which is the one that is before your last class. So over and above, you get students' e-course notes. So these are printable. They're just not downloadable. They mirror the lecturer slides. So you'll be able to follow the lecturer, and then you can fill in any gaps people do understand things differently. Others understand whilst they write, others they have their own way. So that's why we've got these ones. Home study kit or scheme of work. So for you to know what will be covered on which day and how to prepare, that is then this that you get, the home study kit. Then your access as a TAP student or anybody else, you do get a 1 year, which we say automatic renewable. So let's say after the 1 year you're not ready, you just need to come back to us, maybe justify that you're ready to book for the exam. This is the exam date. We can obviously then renew your online access. So you will have 1 year access. So let's say you register now for E1. You will have access until next year. Obviously, we want you to write faster, progress faster, but we understand also situations happen. Not everybody is, or I think right now things are just not going as planned. So though we give you that, it doesn't mean that you only write it later on because you've got 1 year access. We want everyone to progress. And our team is always there to support. We do create WhatsApp groups. You've got access to the lecturers. So we do have, you can reach us anytime. Then we will be here to support you. So this is more about the TAP package for a student who wants to attend our tuition and exam preparation. And what we say is, if you follow this, if you also bring your best, the student, you also need to bring your parts. 51%, 49% probably can come from the school, and also your materials and everything that is there. We then say you should then get the opportunity to pass this first time. So you prepare yourself after these classes. Let's say here you finish your classes on the 16th of May. Use maybe the next 2 weeks to prepare for the exam because you don't want to wait for too long. Whilst the content is still fresh, all the techniques you've been doing in class, write the exam and pass, and then prepare for the next module. So we do have that TAP option. I will just go into another TAP option again that we have. This is for the case study. So as Mr. T explained how the case studies and the objective tests are examined differently, even the way we offer the tuition is also different. So let's say now you're done with E1. Our next case study session is in May. So if you attend, maybe you only had one to write, or you probably going to face the August case study, which is more realistic for many people who are registering now. You find that classes end in May, so you probably have June to write your OT exams, and then you use July, our case study classes start. So what CIMA does is once the pre-scene is released, normally it's released about 6 weeks before the exam. So by first week of July, or maybe by then you should have received the pre-scene for the August case study. The good thing about it now is May and August have the same pre-scene. So if you plan to write in August, the pre-scene is already available. But let's say if it's in November, pre-scene is then released in October. So right now, if your plan is to write August, you already have the material, the pre-scene and everything. As CharterQuest, our classes start 1 month in advance. So I'll show you now. So you do have the 2 full days, which you get on the tuition and exam preparation classes here. And then you get 2 full days exam prep. I'll also show you how this will look like. Okay. Perfect. I think this is much better. Okay. So for students who plan to do, forgive me if I may just. Okay. For students who are planning to write the August case study, right? You can see the classes here starting on the 10th of July. So if you are attending the May case study, the August case study, and you're attending the first semester, it means then you can pass your OTs by 16th of May, and then you use your next June and July, then you write your OTs. You need to pass the OTs. We recommend you pass before our classes because we don't want you to start your first day in your case study and you're still chasing to pass your E1, your P1, you're not fully focused. on the case study classes, they really need you to focus. So that's why we would recommend that you use then June to write your OTs, and then you jump into the case study. So when we mirror now to the benefits, you get 2 full days. Because the pre-sin only comes 6 weeks before the exam, we don't have the luxury of having maybe a 13-week program. So that's why you find that you get 2 full days. So during these 2 full days, we are then going to go through in detail of the pre-sin. We will analyze it. From the E pillar, where does this come from? How does this feed? This company, which is probably ShopRite, is trying to open a new branch in Bloemfontein. What are their marketing strategies? They are also going to look at how is their financial situation to go all out. You would have been given all of that information. You don't need to be calculating anything. So the first 2 days, that's what we'll be doing. We'll just be analyzing it a lot. There will be some questions that you also go through. So those are the first 2 full days and the 2 full exam preparation days, which are then here. This is day 1. After the first exam preparation, we want to check, are you understanding? So we'll give you a mini mock. It will just probably be 1 hour, 30 minutes. So you will go through this mock, you will write, and then you get feedback. When you come back on the 25th, after doing this, you also now know where you are. We just don't want to then give you the mock at the end. When you come back for the next exam preparation, you now have an understanding. We continue doing mocks in class. You will get a lot of class mocks that you will be answering. The lecturer will be guiding you. How do you structure your response? How to identify the tasks, the subtasks in each and every one. You will now need to understand this is a P1, this is a E1 task. So it's really important. Let's say you are exempted from F1, for example, and you're getting into this case study. It needs you to integrate all of that, including that F1. So we would then recommend that you just go into F1 classes, even though you are exempted and you're not writing that exam. Just go into the classes so you can understand. And then by the time you are focusing on the case study, everything is now, you're fresh. You have just refreshed F1, maybe CIMA, the way CIMA does things, you now understand everything. So by the time you are in the case study, you're not going to first say, oh, NPV. Oh, I last did it in university. How do I go back? And then now you want to understand if the value is this, what does it mean? So that's why we recommend that if you have exemptions, please refresh all the 3, because in our classes, we're not going to start going into the technicalities of going to the knowledge of saying, how do you identify this? Everybody there probably is just fresh. They have just passed their OTs. So that's why we strongly recommend that. So you then get your 2 full days here. You do get a marking grid, which then shows you, remember those 4 technical areas that Ms. Santi took us through, the business skills, people skills. So we do give you a marking grid, which our mocks are also marked along that. So by the time you get to the exam, you will also know that, okay, I'm weak on people skills, I'm weak on this, so I need to improve. So our marking criteria includes that. You also get a Kaplan workbook, which is now, you don't get a study textbook, a hard copy for the case study for the specific pre-sin you'll be facing. You actually get what we call a workbook, which is designed for that company. So we get that from Kaplan, and then we distribute to you closer to the classes. So you don't get a study textbook. This is more of a workbook. It's sometimes about 60 pages, though we break it down according to which day you're going to be doing this, and then you get the specific tasks or part of the workbook that aligns to it. Then you do get 3 debrief mocks. So these mocks that you debrief in class, they are drills, they are part of the workbook, and they're also part of the, they come together with the workbook. Then you also get them separately on our student portal. I'll show you those. So that's what now you focus in these classes. So you will get about 3 mocks that you do separately. You will get an online final mock. So let's say you're doing the August case study on the 31st of July. You get your 3-hour final mock, you write from home. It mirrors also the same way you do the CIMA exam. So when it comes to case studies, you now need to make sure that you're able to type and think at the same time. Each task is timed, so your section A is 30 minutes. It opens, you type. If the time is up, it closes up, moves to the next screen. So you now need to do all of this. So during the course, we try to get you ready by doing all of that, because we don't want you now to get to the final exam and then you have to start doing everything at once. So you will get the feedback from the lecturer via email. That's the purple area there. And then after that, you then get another mock for self-assessment. So you would have received a mock from the lecturer. You get another post-mock, sometimes one, sometimes two. You then get with the detailed solutions. All the mocks also have the detailed solutions, even though some you may debrief in class. You then go through that post-mock before your exam. You also want to understand maybe the lessons from your final mock, how to apply them and all of that. So the post-mock online, you get support from us. You also have an access to WhatsApp groups where they debate and they do some activities there. Home study kit with pre-course guidance. So there is a lot that we also load on your student portal. Not everyone is probably familiar with addressing or writing emails and all of that. So we load your student portal with all that preparation before your classes. Interactive online support also, you do get that. And then you get 6 months access to the eCampus. So let's say you start now in May. If you fail, you can use the same access maybe for your August, because the pre-scene is the same. So that's why you would get that 6 months. So I think how you opt for your case study is quite important, so that you know if this happens, how do you get for the next one. If you fail, obviously because this comes with a first-time pass guarantee, we then you've got an opportunity maybe to be rolled over to the next session, maybe to November or to February, whichever one that you'll be ready to join. So this is more about the TEP packages we have for objective tests and for case studies. Let's say you just want to join for exam preparation only, and you are not interested in the full tuition. Maybe you have your own way of studying, you do the tuition on your own, you just want to come to us for revision. You can then you only join during the exam preparation. So you only join those 2 exam preparation classes, which are from here. So you only join from test 2 going downwards. That is what the EPOP package comes with. You do get video recorded classes, but these will be for the exam preparation phase, not for the tuition. A Kaplan practice kit, you don't get the study text because you're not joining us for tuition. And you don't get the BPP kit as well. That one is only for the TEP package. You do get online tests, which are all included there. And you then get also 1 year access, interactive support. So we don't have tuition classes there. Also, it's the same for case studies. You will only join the last 2 days of the course, which is exam prep day 1 and day 2. You don't get tuition. So you're just coming through the EPO package. It's almost for someone who has done the tuition on their own. They're just joining us for exam preparation. So all the materials that is there to prepare someone for exams, techniques, exam techniques, and all of that, that's what you get. So you do get the mocks, the online mocks, and the classes. So everything else that just prepares you for the exam, that's what you get. So that's more about the TEP packages than the EPO package. You can pay 20% deposit and you pay balance over the 6 months. And we do run all the 4 case study seating. Our February classes actually, some are finishing off now and some have just started. For those who are interested in our online packages, so also the payment terms are the same, and we have split our benefits on live stream, recorded classes, and they call it videos and the e-course note package. So if you register for the live stream interactive class, this package comes with a first-time pass guarantee, because we will be expecting you to join each class each week, interacting with the lecturer. So it's almost like the TEP package. It is the TEP package, only that it's live stream. You don't have that option to come to campus. So if you're not in Gauteng, or you travel, or you do all of that, this package could be for you. It comes with ebooks, however, you can upsell to hard copy books. And then the class structure is almost the same with your the class structure is the same with your objective test class structure. So you do get the 7 tuition classes and 2 exam preparation classes. All the classes are recorded, so you are able to get those recorded classes. The books also is the same. Like I said, they are e-books, but you've got an option to upsell for hard copies. You get online tests. So everything else that the TEP package comes with, the live stream interactive plus package comes with that. Evenings or weekends. So when we go through, I'll show you now where to find the timetable. You'll be able to see when your class runs on which day. And we live stream our classes from Sandton, Livonia. So let's say you are attending here in Parktown on a Saturday and you're doing E1, for example, you can't make it. You can't live stream at the same time as the Parktown, but you can live stream from Livonia. So your lecturer might be different. You would then live stream with the lecturer in Livonia. Or if you can't live stream, you can always get the recorded video of that class. So you've got like 3 options if you can't make it or you are unable to follow a class. And then we've got the recorded video classes package. So this package, the only thing that it doesn't have as compared to the live stream package, you don't get the Kaplan, the BPP kit, and you don't get the live stream interaction, but you just get the video recorded classes. So that's the difference between the recorded videos and the live stream. But as you can see, you get your online tests, you get the same support as a TEP student in terms of the materials you find on your portal, the 1-year access as well, and it's obviously renewable as well should you want to write it at a later stage. Then we've got this package for someone who probably has maybe access to mocks, or you've got questions, you just want tuition and exam preparation classes. We do have recorded videos of those, and the students' e-course notes which you follow when the lecturer is teaching, you also get access to that. So this is 750 rands per module, and the recorded videos we have there is 2499. The same also applies to our case study classes. You also get access to the live stream classes and 2 full-day exam preparation, the marking grid. So we basically have the TEP package, but it's live stream. For case studies, the prices are the same. Recorded videos, 2,999. 2 full days again, which are also recorded. So with this one, you don't get the live stream option, but you just get the recording. And then you get the workbook, you get the mocks, the final mock, post mock, online support as well. You also have an opportunity to join our WhatsApp groups where the lecturers are, 6 months access. Same as this package. So this is slightly expensive. It's not 750 like the OTs. So this one is 2,100. You get access to the recorded videos for both the tuition and exam preparation, and you get the Kaplan workbook, which focuses on that pre-scene that you'll be attempting for your exam. So that's more or less what you get in terms of our packages. And I've shown you here the timetables for both TEP and EPOP. Let's say you want to see when your class will start. So you will go there to our timetable section, and probably I want to study maybe here at Parktown in semester 1. So you can then select your operational level. You can then choose your TEP option, and maybe I want to do F1, and then you can search. For case studies, you just search it under Livonia. So you will get both our evening session and the weekend, so you can choose. Let's say that you attend weekends and you can't make it on a evening. So you've got the opportunity to also switch over. You just need to let us know that I can't make it this week on a Tuesday. Can I come through on a Saturday? Then we can always put you on the register so that you can sign in yourself. If you can't make it to Parktown, for example, they run F1 on Saturday and you can attend maybe on Sundays. That Saturday you are held up. You don't want live stream. You can attend at Livonia. We run it on a Sunday. So you are able to switch campuses. You just need to let us know in advance. And then what we can do is to update our registers, and then we know you will be attending there. So just make sure you communicate with us, send us an email, and then the campus team will then arrange your sport for that week, or if you want for the next 2 weeks, that's also possible. And if you are online, so you've got our e-campus there, you will select our semester 1. Probably you want to do strategic level, and you want to do the live stream interactive. So you've got an option of the case studies. Maybe I want to do the case study in August, and I want to do E3 now. Then you search, then you can get the timetable. So you'll be able to see there that the case studies, they run on weekends only. So that is the same structure that we had. And on Saturdays, between 2:30 and 5:30, you can then log in. You will find all the access to the classes in your student portal. The same thing again, if you can't make it, maybe on Saturdays, it will be on a Monday. But you obviously need to be very alert that which one is ahead. So you can see weekends are ahead. So you can then join the evening session if you miss the Saturday. So as long as you've got the timetables, you'll be able to see which one you can catch up on. If you can't get both of these, you then have the recorded videos to catch up on your classes. So that's more or less what we have there in terms of our face-to-face campuses, our e-campuses, the detailed study options. Then probably we have students who do, or we are starting at the gateway. Our study options, like I was just trying to explain how if you are exempted from any objective test, or like the gateway students, they're exempted from E2, P2, and F2. They start at management case study. So that's when we recommend that just take the refresher of the E2, P2, and F2 before you face the case study. So you have an option of taking our gateway package, which then is all the 4 modules. So if you register now, it's 4375 times 4, or you can then choose to get maybe if you want, you can get the recorded videos for these, and then you only come through for the case study classes. Others, they check the video packages and then come for the case study. So you've got a lot of options to try and refresh. We have given you quite a number of them, so you are prepared for the case study exam. For full-time students, I know we may have 1 or 2 who also are interested in our full-time classes. So you will then be able to see your timetables online. I can take you through our full-time structure briefly. So the students have almost the same packages and the benefits as our TEP students. You will then see that there are about 1, 2, 3, 4 additional support that they get here. So we do have what we call our case study center, the case study society, where students join. So this here is under our ESP2. Okay, let me start from the computerized accounting. So as a full-time student, you probably have not worked anywhere, and you need to apply what you're learning in BA1 and BA2. So we then take you through the SAGE accounting program. So you actually get a SAGE certificate at the end of the day. And then we do have the ethics and professionalism. We put you in some projects so you can then apply how to work with people, and how to first at least do some few projects, which we do under the CFO case study competition. We also have internships, which we also arrange work experience for you. So it's just not a program where we come and teach you CIMA. We try to get you into the program and then give you all those other skills to get you started. By the time you finish the program, at least you should have some experience of, if it's working experience where we arrange internships for you, or probably after that you may want to continue to operational level. When you are now applying your case study, you already have an understanding of these work environments and all of that. So that's why we try to embed that when we start at the certificate level. So that's why you find that the fees are a little bit higher than part-time. So it's 30,900 per year for all the 4 modules. So we have defined the duration here. So that's why it will take you about 2 to 4 years to finish. So certificate level, you've got an option to take all 4 in 6 months, or you can split them to say, I'll take 2 the first semester and then I'll take the other 2 in the next semester. Then you've got operational level, which is 9 months. We say 9 months because you can take these over the 3-4 months period, and then you do the case study. Same as the management level. By the time you get to strategic level, you can do it in 6 months because the rate at which you pass your objective test and do everything, it will be much more different. You'll be so used to things, and then you could go straight into the strategic level. So that's more or less what we have on our full-time options. We do have the option for somebody who has a work experience. So CIMA now has what they call the CPP program. So with the CPP program, you probably, maybe you have, even though you may have a prior qualification, if you have work experience, which I'll take you through now, this is just a summary, but CIMA, what they do is they always break down everything when you send your detailed CV. So you can start at operational case study level. If you have the relevant work experience in costing, and then in cross-functional communication in the organization, like analyzing that structure and preparing part or the entire financial statements, including group accounts. So if you have done this before, you are likely to start at the operational case study. Even without a BCom, even without anything, what they do is they'll just need your detailed CV to show exactly what you have done. So you do have this option again to start at the management case study because of the work experience that you have demonstrated. So it's a matter of making sure you detail each and every area that you have experience in. And then you can start with the operational case study. The fees are quite high. MCS is there. Then they have what they call the CSEP. If you've got more experience, which demonstrates that you might skip objective test at strategic, you then start to just write the 2 case studies, MCS and SCS, management case study and strategic case study. Then you'll be exempted from the operational level, then management level objective test and strategic level objective test. So you just need to make sure that you try to detail your work experience as much as possible, each of these entries. So if you're interested in this as well and you've got the relevant experience, just visit that the link there, and then you just send us your documents, or you are free to also email me directly. Then we do have our detailed timetables, which I've shown you, and then PC exams. So let's say you are studying with us. You have an option to add your exam fees to your quotation. So during the quotation process, you can then select to use our PC exam center. So let's say here at Parktown for CIMA, even an online student can also do the same thing. So I want to do TAP evenings here for BA1, and I want to collect my books here at Parktown. I'll go next. Then when you come here, you can add your exam fees, right, during the process. After you add these exam fees, you will get a voucher to book your exams when you are ready. Like we said, don't wait for too long after classes. Come to our website, book your BA1, BA2 exam. You can book to write at our center. If you are out of Joburg and you've added this, you can choose the CIMA at home option, or you can also choose any other center that you want. But from our website, you can choose any of the centers. But when we are confirming your exam, you just tell us that, no, I actually want the at home exam. Then we can book you, or you want to say, I want to write in Nelspruit. This is the center that I want. Then we can also book you there. So those are the options that we have when it comes to the exam. So you can write in our center at home. You can add your fees here. We can remit it to CIMA when it's time, including any other fees to CIMA as well. Like now, subscription fees will be due end of March. Re-registration if your student account is not active, registration fees. So you have those options as well. I will be done in the next 5 minutes. And then bookstores. So let's say none of these study options excites you. You just want to buy books from us. You then come through to the bookstores and just get your books to, let's see. You can just click bookstores and then let's see where to start. And then, yes, you can buy your CIMA books. We sell both BPP and Kaplan. We deliver. in South Africa and outside. So we do sell all the books there. We do have the 2021 books. They are all the books that we have. CIMA exemptions. I know a few questions came through regarding the exemptions. So what I will do now is on our website where we have CIMA there, let's say you've got, I think there were a few questions that we had online. You've got a BCom in accounting, you've got maybe maybe your MBA or diploma. So if you are new and you've got exemptions, you go to our website there, you click CIMA, new to CIMA, and then there is where it says check exemptions now. So you can then come here and put in your qualification. So if your institution was UNISA, for example, in South Africa, so you will then see which qualification you can get, and then that's your UNISA, and then you'll be able to tell where you'll be able to start from. So if it was a BCom, a bachelor in, let's say, BCom Financial Management, then you can then see where you'll be starting. So you can then see there, you can start BA1, you'll be exempted from all these, you will start at management level. So that's the good thing about CIMA, they've simplified things a lot. So we will recommend that if you have probably a prior qualification and you want to check where you can start, please use the exemption search on the CIMA website. It will definitely help you to see where you will start from. So now you understand the qualification itself. So if those modules that are listed, when you look at the CIMA qualification, which Mr. T has taken us to, you will now understand where to start. So that's the good thing, that now you've got a good understanding of the exemptions. And finally, I think I'm left with one item before we can take questions. Get free quote or how to register. So at any time, if you want a quotation, maybe, or you want to enroll after this, I hope we sold the qualification enough for you to decide. If not, I really want to know why. So you go to the get free quotes here, which is on the top right on the website, and then you will be able to click. Then you can select whether you want to register and enroll, book your exam. So this is where you come to book your exam in the event that you've got a voucher. If you want to enroll, the get free quote email option, like the one we took earlier on. So this is our PC exams portal, where you then select your campus where you want to write your exams. So we run PC exams from Parktown, Pretoria, and Rivonia. Sandton CBD doesn't have an exam center as yet, but we are hoping to have it there in the next 2 months. So you will be able to book your exams via the same process again. Yes, so this is more or less what I have on my side in terms of the study options, how we offer our classes. Free to take any questions? For the students here, yes.
Just explain the first time pass guarantee.
Sure, all right. Sure, I can explain the first time pass guarantee. Maybe Primrose, you can also check online and then just let us know after this if you have questions. So the first time pass guarantee, what we are saying is now we have more information. If you come to our website and you just take the first time pass guarantee, you also get the info there. So we are saying that if you register for the TAP package or the live stream which we have just introduced now, and you have just, you attended all your classes, you took all your tests with an average score of 40%. We know the exams are hard, so we're not saying 70 like CIMA, we're just saying 40 there. You did not take more than 3 subjects. So normally with CIMA also, there's no way you may take more than 3 OTs because they are all there. Your final exam, you write it within 60 days of finishing the classes. You can use the same learning material. So all of these I'm trying to explain. If you say you take 4 days study leave as well before your exam, you would have dedicated enough time to put in all your best so you can pass the exam first time. So if you have done all of this and you fail the exam, we are then saying that we'll be able to take you back into class And we can even allocate a further 35% rebate or discount on your future course. So that is what we then apply in our first time pass guarantee process to say you've gone to write your exam. You send us your results within 7 days. The student account was up to date. You send us your claim form, which you can access on the same page. Then you submit to us within 7 days. You've demonstrated you've done this. We will guarantee that we'll take you back into class after you've taken our TEP package, which is either the face-to-face or the live stream package. In the event that maybe you missed one class or you did other, things don't go as planned, we still encourage students to submit as well. They will get definitely feedback and an outcome which allows them to return. It may not be 100%, we will evaluate it, or it may even be 100%, but maybe without a 30% future discount in future. So we have seen a lot of students who come back, like currently with our case study classes, because they want to re-attend the next session or the next seating. So we normally have this quite a lot. I hope you answered. All right. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so the pass mark when it comes to CIMA exams, they have what they call the raw score marking. So if you are objective tests, if you're attending like your objective test, so you'll find that your pass mark should be 100 over 150. So we're looking at what, 65, 68? If it's a case study, you need to have 80 over 150. But with the case studies, you need to be competent in all the areas. So you may get maybe 85, but you're not competent in one area. It's not a pass. So it's 80 over 100 for case studies. With all the, you have to pass all those 4 competency areas. Objective test is 100 over 150. And you need to also make sure that you have a balanced score in all the 4 syllabus areas or 5. It depends with your module. So it's 100 over 150 when it comes to the objective test. They do raw score marking, so if you convert it to percentage, yeah. All right, perfect. Primrose, do you have any questions that we can take? Questions? Yes. So the question is, can I do CIMA without any accounting background? So if you don't have any accounting background, so if you are new to CIMA, if you have a diploma, that's what we have just explained, the exemptions. If you have no prior qualification or you're straight from metric, you can, only that you will start at the certificate level. So you don't get exemptions to go to operational level. You then start with, I'll show you when I open the structure. So you then start BA1, BA2, BA3, BA4 at the foundation. So that's why they now call them fundamentals of business economics. So you do everything from scratch, understanding everything. BA2, BA3, what is a budget, what is costing, what is this? So you can, and CIMA has that framework now to say start at certificate level. We'll teach you all the basics. Then from there, you can go up to your operational and everything afterwards. So straight from metric, you do start at certificate level, or without any other qualification, you can start at metric, at certificate. All right. Question, isn't it? No problem. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Did not finish already qualified for the diploma.
Yes.
The subsequent year.
Yes.
Are you able to take those credits, put them in here, or collect it on
Sure. Sure. I like how you're trying to make it work. And you always do. So if you have not finished your qualification, CIMA will not be able to take it in as part of the exemptions assessment. What they need is actually the certificate, full transcript of the whole program for them to grant you the exemptions. So part of the submission, you have to submit the certificates and the transcripts. So yeah, so you will not be able to use the exemptions of an unfinished qualification. Yes. Yes, yes. If you don't have an option of probably trying to use your work experience or anything else, yes, you'll have to start at the certificate level. And it's good. We've seen students who start CIMA at this because they, start with all the full understanding of each and every item, and then they then go up to your operational level, and it's doable. Yes. Question? Not yet. Okay. Let's see online if we have questions. Primrose? Privilege? Do you have questions?
Hello, patient.
Yes. Do we have any questions? I cannot hear you. Okay, I don't think we have any questions. So I think we can close. Oh, there are questions here. Okay, Sandra is asking that I have 12 years working experience, of which 4 is in accounting. Where would you suggest I start? Okay, so in this case, Sandra, you will need to submit your work experience with CIMA. So they will be able to assess your exemptions. They do these directly. So I would recommend that you submit your CV via the CPP route, and then CIMA will evaluate for you on where to start regarding your work experience question. Then Juduzile has a question. After finishing my BCom in financial level, which level do I qualify? Okay, I think Juduzile as well, you can then just also follow the exemptions search, so you can check your exemptions via the exemptions calculator. What's the difference between live streaming and pre-recorded sessions? All right, Cabo, I think maybe I may have touched on this, but I can briefly go through it. So the difference between the live stream and the pre-recorded is then that you don't get to actually live stream with the lecturer. The pre-recorded, you just get the pre-recorded video. So you don't have a live stream interaction with the lecturer every week. I hope I have answered your question, Cabo. Just let us know. Honest, you had a question. Okay, I think Mr. T answered Honest's question before he left.
Hey, patient.
Yes.
Sorry, I lost network at some point. I just wanted to check. There's Lucille, who was asking about for someone who has only wants to attempt the MCS, do we look at the 4.999 package? Are the objective test at 4.3 per module, which means times 3? Question mark. I'm not too sure if you had answered that question.
Okay, so the question from Lucille, for someone who only wants to attempt MCS. All right. Yes, I think we are saying that if you need to refresh with the classes for 4375 before you do the case study, yes, you need then to refresh the E2, P2, and F2. And yes, the cost per module will be the 4375 per module. And that would be 4375 times 3 plus the MCS for 4999. So yes, Lucille, that is correct for someone who wants to attempt the MCS after doing a refresher of the 3 modules, which would be 4375 for all 3. I hope that I have answered you. Okay, I can read the questions now. Primrose, they are, okay. When does the 20% discount end? Okay, so the 30% current discount will end 31st January, which is tomorrow. We've been running it since December, so it's ending tomorrow. So if you'd want to claim this, you need to do your enrollment, pay in full by tomorrow. How much is the upsell to hard copy of books? All right, we'll check that for you online. Primrose, I think you can check for us. Okay. Good morning. Is Feb case study same with May and August? So no, the case study for May will be the same as August. So May and August, they share the same pre-scene. November and February, they share the same pre-scene. And yes, you've got an option to just attend the case study classes only if you cannot attend the refresher courses. And for May and August seating, we will show you, I think we showed you where to get the timetable. And I think Primrose can also assist with the timetable. And in terms of questions regarding for someone who plans to write the May case study, so we will then recommend, if you really have to write the May case study, you can then take the pre-recorded packages, because you can see the classes physically that will finish mid-May, which is now going into the case study. So if anyone has a plan, I think also Lucille asking, answering your question, if you have to write the May case study, you may want to get our pre-recorded package for the refresher classes and then use them between now and maybe April before the classes start. Then you can then get into the case study class after refreshing all the OTs. So you have an option to choose between the pre-recorded and the videos classes. So that is the package that we would recommend if you really have to do the May case study. Otherwise, if it's August, you may want to do the interactive classes so you can ask questions, get more understanding before you then start with your case study in May. Then in April, you start with the live stream case study classes. With the case studies, we always recommend interactive live stream because you debate with others. They are from different backgrounds, so they bring in all of that. So it's good to join the interactive classes. Unless otherwise, maybe you can't, or you know your schedule is different, you can choose the pre-recorded option, which is good. Normally, pre-recorded is good, maybe for a rewrite, but for your first time, we always recommend that you try to live stream and get all the support that you would need, especially from the lecturer. Are there any more questions? Otherwise, we may want to close. Okay, Primrose, I think we have taken all the questions. And Lucille, just let us know if you are happy, if we have answered all your questions. We will share with you the exemptions link as well. I think we needed to share with Cabo. Anyone has a question? Otherwise, I will now would like to close the session, and I would like to thank everyone for joining us. Thank you for coming to see us. We really appreciate you took your time in the morning and the weather as well. I'm sure you woke up and then you looked outside. You're like, but you made it, which is great. So thank you for being part of our day. And for everyone who's logged in online, we would like to thank you for joining us today. And please, I'm going to share our details as well on the slide, and we will also send you an email with our details in case of questions. Okay. So I understand we should have answered your questions by now. So we have gone through the full presentation, which Mr. T took us through, the CEO. He took us through the CIMA and why employers love it, why many pass first time, the comparison of colleges, our study options, the question and answers. And I guess your next steps now is, I think we have sold the CIMA to you. I'm sure if you didn't want to do it by now, you're probably thinking, I think I should do CIMA. All right. And then those are our contact details. So please feel free. I'll also be able to give you anything else that you may need from here. But otherwise, with this, yes, is there a question?
Yes, Sandra said, how long does CIMA take to get back to us regarding exemptions? which is
All right. Okay, good question. So before we close, I'll be able to answer. So CIMA will take about 14 to 21 working days to come back to you once you submit your request for exemptions or once you submit your qualification. What you need to might just make sure you do is you register with them, pay the £77, then you submit your certificates, your transcripts. They take about 14 to 21 days, and then normally it's faster. I think at this point they're a bit faster, so you might even find within 7 days you get feedback. And it's actually good to start now so that by the time classes start end of February, you have a good sense of where you will start the qualification. Is that fine, Primus? Anything else?
Yes. Lucille also said the discount offered, is it also available paying off over 6 months?
All right. So the early bird 30% discount is only valid if you're paying in full by tomorrow. However, if you want to pay over the 6 months, you then get the standard discounts that we have, like for attending this open day, maybe as a returning student and all of that. So you will be able to get those discounts. The combo discounts should also apply. Our normal combo discounts should also apply. So if you don't qualify for this and you want to pay over the 6 months, you still have an option to select our combo 4, which still might even get you to the 30% discount. So for anyone who's not able to take part into this in this early bird discount, you then have an option to take the normal discounts, which you can then those ones you can structure over a 6 months period. All right. Any questions, Primos, before we close?
There is Donna. She said she posted 3 questions, but I'm trying to check the questions. I can't see them. Let me see. Lastly, what is the difference between TAPE package and part-time and eCampus livestream interaction session that are the same price? There was
So
that
those
one question.
Yes, yes. All right. I cut you short. Yes, you can finish.
Oh, okay. I was saying that's one of the questions I picked from here.
Okay. All right. So the live stream interactive plus and the TAPE package is the same benefits and everything, only that the live stream comes with e-books instead of hard copy books. And you will just need to upsell. I think it's an extra $750 per module if you need to upsell for the TAPE package. I know, I think Lucille asked the same thing about the upsell cost. Have we answered that?
Yes, I did. I responded, it's $950 per module.
$950. Okay, my apologies. $950. All right. Okay. Thank you for that. Is there another question?
Where can I get more information on the gateway package? That was another question from Donna.
Okay. In terms of the fees and everything.
Yes.
All right. Can we then share? I think let's share our gateway package link. I think it will help.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay. If there are more questions?
The first one from Donna was, good morning all. Where do we get a breakdown of the semesters? Second, can we do one module at a time? How do we get access to the material and past papers? How do we start the process of knowing where to start with classes, payments, and textbooks?
All right. So it's a good question about semesters. I think I didn't touch on that. So we do have 3 intakes as CharterQuest. So we have the intake that's starting now in February. There's the June intake, and then there's the September-October intake. So let's say you want to split your classes like how Donna is asking, I want to do one at a time. So you can join now, maybe take E3, write and pass, F3, maybe the next semester, and then the other one. The disadvantage of that is, imagine now you need to do the case study after 1 year, next year, and you're done E1 last year. You need to go back and refresh. If you have the time, obviously, yes, you can then take your E3 book, go through, refresh, and do the case study. So that's just the downside of you going back again to refresh, but you can take one module per semester if you choose to do it like that. Then you have an option of then taking two, maybe, then one later, maybe split over, maybe if you want to take one evening or weekends, you can do that. Sorry, Primrose, what is the other part of the question?
Sorry, just a second. Let me go back there.
Or maybe we can actually
just okay. The last part was, how do we start the process of knowing where to start classes, payments, and textbooks?
Okay, all right. So the process of starting, once you register on our website the way we did, our accounts team will confirm your enrollment within 2 days, and then you will get all the information. Our team will, in the confirmation emails, you will get how to create your student account and everything online. And your student account will be loaded with all the materials that we have gone through on this presentation under the tab package or the live stream. So whichever option you choose, you find everything there. There was something about CIMA past questions. So CIMA does not have, after the 2015 syllabus, they don't have a platform where you find all the past questions because all the questions are loaded on the Pearson VUE system. However, that's why we then give you an extra BPP kit to try and use it and get all the practice that you need. Other students also use various platforms where they buy extra materials and extra questions, which is also something that other students do to try and get as many questions as possible. So that is more or less what our students who need this normally get. I think we have addressed all the questions.
Thank you, Patience. I have one from Margaret. She had asked that we respond before we leave. After hearing what Valentine said about the CFO program, can I try to go straight to it since I have 15 years experience as top management in finance, even though I have started attempting operational level? ?
All right. I think CIMA will be best. They can address that. Maybe she just needs to send me an email. Maybe just put my email address. I'll forward it to the CIMA team and then they can look into it. If it's possible, then they can tell us if it's possible or not. Once they come back to us, we'll be able then to give her feedback. Then she can start preparing a portfolio for evaluation with a clear answer. So we just need to ask CIMA on that one. What happens if you're already in the qualification and you've attempted other modules? So we definitely can ask CIMA, and then we can give her feedback during the week next week.
Thank you, Patience. I will share your email address with her.
All right, perfect. And I think we also have it on the slides. All right. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. Those online, all the way. If you want to register today, if you're online, I think we can process our enrollments. We've got the instant credit card option. You've got the EFT options. And if you are here, we've got a speed point machine. So we can do everything today. After this, we definitely should be getting started, right? Online classes, face-to-face, we'll be able to offer you. But thank you so much for joining us today, everyone, and wishing you I think it's going to be a nice weekend, the rest of it. All right. Thank you. All right. Thanks.